Brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, MSI, DHL, Alienware, Betway, Logitech G, and PaySafeguard.
First map done and indeed dusted. Not quite as neat as perhaps NaVi fans and NaVi players expected, especially after what was one of the strongest starts we've seen on a main stage in quite some time. 10-1 it stands. We finished 16-12, and I think there's a lot to be discussed here with my analysts. We do, of course, have Sponge and Thorin. Gentlemen, it's 10-1. We're almost getting ready to get back into our outfits and get our hell up onto this stage. It does take an extended period of time, and I want to explore as to why. First of all, why the strong start? I mean, where were Fnatic?
Flamey was having one of those games, right? It's very intermittent, they're always very dotted throughout his career, but he can have games where he can absolutely take over, and that's why when it was Flamey and Simple in the roster before Electronic came along, they were the two main stars. Now Electronic's there, the limelight isn't on Flamey so much, and he can have these performances that show up every now and again, and he played fantastically well. Electronic and Simple were there helping along the way, and then when we made it to the second half, for me, it just felt like it was a matter of time. If you look at the way that NaVi approached the game, they just love to buy. I think we saw maybe one, maybe two ecos
towards
over there.
the end, really.
Exactly, when they knew the pressure was starting to mount and the comeback was on. Hey, let's take an eco, let's actually get some economy going, let's get the orbs up, let's get the utility, and let's close it out. And
is that an effective mindset, do you think, Duncan? Is it something that they're fortunate to being rewarded with, or what do you reckon?
They just make it work so much that it is effective. That's the best word for it. Sure, it's a gamble for other teams, but if you can make it work 60% of the time, odds probably mean that actually you should do it in these scenarios, especially because part of the thing that was so crazy about the start was Fnatic won the pistol round. They're on CT side, you should be able to get a roll going. Ended with barely any rounds because immediately NaVi comes right back with the force buy. So if the game's telling them it works to force buy, their superstar players are all going off like they were in this match. I bet even they're wondering, how did we end up with such a close game by the end?
We always say when coming into these matches how important the pistol rounds are. Well, that gets completely blown out of the water when you know, NaVi just go, well, it's okay if we lose the pistol, we're just going to force buy, right?
But I mean, if someone was you know, had a bit of spare time, they could just go through and take a look at those NaVi games. How often do they actually concede a pistol and come back and convert that second round? I mean,
lot of time.
It must be a majority.
More often than not, I would say, at this point, right, with these guys. And then even when they do win the pistol, they're normally very proficient at converting when they have the weapon advantage, which is something that's been fantastic for this NaVi roster over the last couple of months, definitely.
And I mean, if we want to kind of delve a little deeper, I do want to kind of understand, you know, why it is that we're critical of Navi's CT side. We saw another example of it here. I mean, I'm struggling to understand, because they have the ingredients of what should be a strong CT side. I mean,
and they're so good on this map. That's the thing. Like before this game here, I think they'd only lost 2 out of their last 12 on overpass or something against all levels of opposition as well, not just getting it against the teams that don't play it. So normally they have a fabulous T side. Their CT side has won the map, so actually they can do a bit of that aggression. It works. Their B site hold is usually fantastic. It was terrible in this game. They had a lot of issues there. I have to say though, as much as it's easy to meme, as we referred to in the preview, about Fnatic saying this is one of the maps they've been practicing, they're really good in practice, which obviously looked like it was going to be a joke after the first half. But I've got to give them credit. Actually, the way they played on the T side did make it a lot of tough decisions for NaVi. They spread them really out. They were actually using players like Flusher like you'd want, like use them on the extremities of the maps. They can find weird timings, get a pick, but then go to the other site. So many times Electronic felt like, right, it's time to rotate out of the site. Oh, they're coming to this site anyway. So that's actually just the hallmark of having a good T side. Like, I can't put it all on NaVi having a poor one. I think Fnatic actually had a good game plan. It's just that waited a little too late by the time he switched over.
I think a big factor in helping with those mid-round decisions was how many times NaVi gave away the opening kill on the CT side without a trade, right? It was giving the 5v4 advantage to Fnatic time and time again, and then it does become a lot easier to string them out in the mid-round, and Duncan's bang on. They were chasing their towers a lot of the time, but eventually the gamble towards that B-bomb site paid off. They ran into the blender and they just got shut down.
Eventually, yeah. It was kind of a war of attrition at that point in time, but they do convert, and NaVi hold the lead. Before we continue to expand upon this one and the next map in our first series of the day. We do have Trace Stunner Sorrenthus. He's voyaged very bravely into the crowd, and it looks like he's found a familiar face.
A familiar face is a pretty short-sighted way to say it, but I think you're onto something, Alex. I'm here with Maya, the Fnatic girl. Now, Fnatic girl has been here 4 years in Cologne in a row. How does it feel being here in Cologne?
Okay, it's so good. Fnatic, let's fucking go, boys!
Whoa, 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 whoa. Bring it back down. I gotta keep it tame some a little bit. So check this out. Overpass didn't quite go the way of Fnatic, but we're going to train now. So what do you think? Can they do it on train?
Of course they're gonna do it. Easy map for... I don't want to say anything bad, but easy for Fnatic.
All right, how about this? I got one last question for you. What do you say to Fnatic? What do you say to Draken right now in this moment?
Let's go, Daddy Draken!
Jesus. Okay, well, Alex, I'm gonna get out of here. It's getting out of control. Take it away, bud.
Ah, fantastic. You know what? It's nearly 5 o'clock.
I remember my first beer as well.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? We do have, of course, some very passionate fans here in Cologne. It's one of the many reasons this is such a celebrated event, but also the Counter-Strike, and it does continue. Any closing thoughts on Overpass before we can dig our teeth into train? Because there's a lot of questions I have regarding map number 2.
I just have a hope and a prayer that NaVi didn't start arguing towards the end of that game, and they just knew they were going to close it out. Because if they start getting a bit of a tiz, it could definitely...
How crazy is it that they are ahead, Duncan, convincingly, and we cut to NaVi player cams, and Simple looks like they are down 1 to 10. I mean, it does seem to be their mojo there, the way they do things, but it is quite hard to comprehend sometimes.
Yes, they are a team that, for whatever reason, despite the fact they can play messy Counter-Strike at times, it seems like they hold each other to a almost an unreasonable standard. You know, if you win in their games and you win in the maps, look at teams like SK when they're private. If they win a close game, it's like, right, great job, guys. You know, don't worry about how many, we got the win in the end. Yeah, for some reason, there is a little bit of tension within that team, despite the fact, yes, they are one of the best in the world.
And what did he describe it as in that fantastic video? Simple said, emotions are like the weather.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't control
oh my
it.
goodness,
Now,
you can't
everyone
control
from the
them.
UK knows you definitely can't control the weather.
Oh, we're all too familiar with it. But here in the Lanxess Arena, we can control what we get to talk about. And up next, it is, of course, the man on your screens. There's a 1 in his name, and he is the chosen one to many. We're going to go ahead and take a closer look at who players in Counter-Strike fear the most.
A single player that I really would not want to face would be Simple. He's been scary the entirety of 2018, so yeah.
Simple. He is the player that can do some stuff on his own.
Simple is easily the best player right now. I think a player more like Nico or Colsera I struggle a lot more against, but yeah, it's one of those 3.
A player that definitely in the past didn't like playing against is Fallen. I thought that when he was really aggro at the op and he is in your face, it's really hard to stop him because he always repositions himself really well. So I think him, maybe if he gets back in form, he's going to become a threat.
Player that I don't really like to face, I would have to say Zibnix, because he's a really smart player. He seems to be at the right place at the right time at all times, so it's really hard to play against.
I can just come up with someone right now, which gonna be probably Alu. He's a very good friend of mine, and it's just more like it's gonna be a fun game to play against him.
I think the player I don't want to face is Colsera. He has a huge impact on their game always, a great player and someone I really admire.
For me personally, I don't generally enjoy playing against Guardian. I've only played him maybe 3 or 4 times overall. Not every time has been terrible, but there was, I would say, 2 times or so I kind of got smashed by him. So
I don't really like playing against Guardian. He's always quicker than me, and he's always in the right position. So it's very hard to like counter him because he doesn't really do the same things. He's always like moving around. He's not a static operator. He's a dynamic one. I don't like playing against Guardian.
Well, a player that I don't like to face, I don't know. I mean, like, should be me. I mean, like, people don't want to play against me because I do like random plays. I don't know. I don't have a player that I don't want to play against. I want to crush them all, and that's it.
It's my own bad player. So yeah, this is a player that I don't want to meet this tournament.
Device. Device is just very hard to play against. He is a very smart player and don't take bad risks. He is always playing smart and just taking the easy peaks.
When I'm confident and I feel at 100%, I think that's the opponent that should be scared facing me, but not the opposite way.
Okay, some confidence coming out from some of those familiar faces that some will be stepping out just a little later today or tomorrow in the semi-finals. Now, the next map is Train. We don't have oodles of time, but just to set the scene and to comprehend whether we even get to see that exciting Inferno decider, I throw it over to our analysts. What are you thinking?
Just quickly, I think, this is Fnatic's pick. They will be starting on the T side. NaVi should be selecting that CT side there. I think Zeus towards the inner bomb site is one port of call if you're the T side of Fnatic to try and exploit and force out those rotations.
And Duncan.
This was the map where we saw that fabulous JW performance, especially on the T side on Train, so he could do a lot for them in this game. Didn't really need to do as much in the first map, but this is also another map where you can live and die by Simple. If Simple takes over on the T side, you're going to get entries. He wins clutches. So I feel as though, yeah, this is a very, very strong map for them, and I think actually that it can be close, but I think NaVi's going to close it out here.
Okay, keeping our eyes on Simple, according to Duncan. Another name I would throw into perhaps your ball pit there, Chad, is Draken. Isn't this one of the maps where he has been seen as more influential than perhaps, say, on Overpass?
Yeah, and he's definitely going to need to be here. You saw in that first game, he was a little bit shaky. He couldn't really hit the shots that he needed to. Had 1 or 2 duels against Simple that he won, but he's going to need to win more than that if they want to have a chance in Train.
Yep, they're going to have to try and take us to Inferno. I know certainly there wouldn't be many complaints if we get to see all 3, but NaVi looking too strong. And as is Cologne. Guys, it's time for Train. It's time to once again get your vocal cords warm because it's time to raise the roof. Fnatic taking on NaVi, their chance for a rebuttal. Their map choice, it will be Train, but we take the pain next.
Fnatic started to build back. It was ripped away in the final moments. NaVi shut them out after a dominant first half. But this is a new map, fresh start. This is Fnatic's choice. You've got to hope there's more to be seen.
Saw them on this map dominant off the back of JW. There's that Deagle on Flusha again as well and pushing downstairs. A duel at long range. Zeus is ready for this, but the Glocks will reign supreme at this range. He's got to be careful. Electronic's going to win that. Flash comes out. It's too late, but they've got the kill anyways. Edward has to fall away. He's blind. Electronic. One more shot, but it's traded. Into a 3-on-3 we go. Both kills for JW, but Simple's position is unreal.
He could completely decapitate both of them. One goes down, the second to follow, the third. Is he going to get Flusha too? Tries to back away, find a new way to approach this. Flusha thought he had. Oh, Simple! What is that?
That is so dirty. He said he wanted to make a show on a stage like this, and he's just done it to kick off Train. That cannot leave a good taste in your mouth if you're a Fnatic. A flank up ladder in that scenario as well, when you already know 2 players are fighting in that region.
Show me this again.
That's ballsy in its own right. This is beautiful, these 2 kills.
Cool, this is nice. Like, oh, that's Simple doing Simple things.
Those ones make sense.
Okay, still fine. No. Oh, production. That's cruel and unusual, and as might be this. Simple again awaits. Exist fights back, but it's all for nothing. Flusha is your last man alive very quickly here. And we might as well have watched that replay.
Right. That was over quick. Flusha goes down. That's a big investment for nothing. They got 1 kill out of it, and even the M4 is picked up and tossed back over, so no real losses sustained from NaVi in that second round. I think this will be it. Sure.
Hey. It's quite nice.
That's not bad at all. Not bad at all. 2-0 as Fnatic are going to be back to unarmored Glocks. Should be an easy mop-up for NaVi in this round. JW gonna lead the way, and it's Simple again that they'll be going up against. They're really allowing him to get started early in this matchup. They're going right at him, and we saw how that can kind of ignite players if they have good openings to have, but now he's all alone. He's got to do so much, and of course he answers the call. A triple kill with the M4. Draken gonna challenge, and Simple now wisely falls away. But he's stopped the pressure, he's stopped the danger. Oh. Get out of my face. Exist, the last one left. He's gonna go on a bit of a route here as the bomb is on the other side of the map. And while this could catch some people off guard, there is gonna be a timer where someone says in their head, you know, this isn't right. We should have seen him by now, and they'll start to be worried about these kinds of flanks.
Yeah, the internal timer will begin to tick. Simple could get caught out by this, but it's... No, he's turned around. He might have heard it or might have just considered it. 40 seconds, there is no armor on Exist, so even if he gets close, he will be found. Brilliant work between Simple and Electronic there, catching the final attempts from the Fnatic side, but this is the round that Fnatic want to make a statement. You don't want a repeat of map 1.
No, and remember, the pressure that Fnatic was able to work against Big on the T side of Train was all stemming from a phenomenal game from JW, but he had a lot of success over towards Ivy. They were able to exploit that. They're going to have to try and do that again. We'll see if NaVi's up to the task. Here we go, 5 AK-47s for Fnatic. The AWP is out on Simple's hands. Flamey's still in the Famas. JW heading down towards Ivy, and Flush and Crim's gonna be the first ones up to try and take control of box halls, and they at least force Electronic away.
They've been very aggressive in Na'Vi. They are taking every fight that they feel they can, but Electronic doesn't want to overstep again. He's very alone here. Simple put himself towards A with that AWP, so Electronic has to be able to bear the burden alone for now. Fnatic haven't made huge steps either, not making huge strides anywhere. They're just kind of taking over the map as you'd expect.
A lot of utility still on Na'Vi, despite the fact that they've given up ground. They haven't really put anything out to slow down Fnatic, which is fine when the eventual hit or set piece does come in. A couple Molotovs and Electronic and Zeus can really hamper the mobility and the different options available to Fnatic. Still no one's made a move. JW passive towards Ivy. He's being joined by the bomb that's on Exist. Flamey and Electronic are gonna have a crossfire set up on Ivy. That'll be tough to break through. Simple peering towards teammate, and Edward ready to pounce as well. There's 4 defenders outside. No pressure inner means Fnatic can cheat people with impunity.
Here comes Exist and JW, the first to try and work their way forward. Electronic might be the first to take contact depending on how they play this one out. They are actually getting quite far forward, but they just don't check the corner, and that's a bomb left in a treacherous position here. And you're going to get the follow-up as well. Crim's trying to find a room, but it's a categoric shutdown until then. Crim's finally gets his one back. Maybe he can do more. That's 3, but the next will not happen. Simple has none of it. This is his stage.
Pretty important to get those 3 kills, though, just to keep the economy in check just a little bit. JW couldn't support Exist. He was cut off by a Molotov. He was meant to come out with him and at least trade that opening kill, because Electronic was allowed to get that first one and then change his angle and look elsewhere to find a second. Nice defense from him. Fortunate lineup here, and a good spray control in the third for Crims, but they're down 0-4. Remember, I mean, they look good on overpass. It just started far too late into the game. I should say they look good in the second half of overpass.
Context.
Yes.
Masks.
King.
And now Deagles galore for Fnatic, the Swedes. Depending on the hand cannons to try and find an avenue, but already Electronic gonna hear this, and here he comes. The stuff of nightmares at this point. He's having a blistering game thus far. And gonna know JW is there. Timing, it's so good! Someone stop him, please! Everything's going his way as you're down to Flusher and Draken.
All they have really left to do is go and try and get this bomb planted. Gonna drop down the ramp at the same time. A quick shot from Edward. Now try to delay the plan or stop the plan if you're Zeus, and Flush is taking the fight. The nade comes in. He might be able to get this down. Simple's rushing for it. The knife is out, but the nade saves Flusha from embarrassment. Simple wanted it.
5-0. Been a whole lot of knives on this map recently. I'm happy with more.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were all on JW, right? He was the one getting, he got 3 of them in one half, so, or one game, so see if we can continue that trend. Doesn't look likely early on. Full losing bonus for Fnatic. They have the op now out now in Draken.
Spawn for JW, you might be going fast on this. And Simple, Edward, Flamey all locked to the side, but Simple still there, still standing tall.
He missed the jump as well, JW. As soon as he landed in that gap right in the crosshair, he slowed down, and that's just too easy for Simple. He was prepared for that play. Crims has found the equalizer. That's out towards Ivy as Electronic goes down. Simple will rotate to keep his eyes on that part of the map. Edward gonna be in ladder room with Flamey out in the open by E-Box.
Flusher tussling down by Pop. Edward over there as well. Gotta be careful that no one can trade him as he walks across, but he's safe for now, still being supported. Simple actually going to back all the way down.
Fnatic have no utility. They have just used their last smoke, and they're not taking advantage of it at the moment, and they don't have any flashbangs. They have the one Molotov on Crim, so really, you're relying here on Draken either being able to open things up or being able to at least follow up with you. Good kill from Edward, and the follow-up dink on Crims has softened them up, and Flamey can be patient in this position. He doesn't have to overextend himself, but he's gonna push forward. Crims still doing work, and somehow this bomb site has gotten opened a little bit, but there's still defenders lying in wait.
This should be Fnatic's. And I say should because Flamey is still here and he's still doing that. He's got so much going for him now, the 1v1 up against Flusher. Flusher out by E-Box. Flamey doesn't know it yet. The clock begins to tick. 20 HP is all Flamey has to work with. The timing works well with Flusher. Steps out well. Gets the kill. And it's the first one on the board.
Flamey's bringing that deadliness from Overpass onto Train. That is a really nice spin around to get that player behind him. And somehow Fnatic created something out of nothing that round. They didn't really have a whole lot to stand on. They were bottlenecked as well. And Crim's able to find the openings. Talked about him on the desk as well. One point this year, one of the best performing players we had for a short period. We could use some of that right now. 1-5 as Fnatic are on the board early this time. They have a shotgun and an SMG on NaVi. The money's all gone. There is an AWP on Simple, but this win is huge. This round is massive for Fnatic to get some rounds, some easy rounds on the T side. It'd be such a luxury if they could get some rounds early on, unlike Overpass.
3 by Ivy is still waiting. Crimson Flusher holding off for now. They start to begin their approach. There's no one directly watching it. Again, working with limited amounts, they have to try and pick their battles in NaVi. They didn't pick it right. Crim succeeds. That's a gateway now. Simple though. Great consideration, good thought process here. Does miss a shot. That's uncharacteristic and he gets punished. There's JW coming forward. Fnatic starting to feel out the round and Edward getting a little bit of leg. Comes back up from the depths. Chomps down Flusher. But still, this should be Fnatic's. The bomb's on the way. There's very few steps back in.
I think NaVi's going to have to save this with these 3 guns. They don't have anyone nearby to even have kind of a leg to stand on in the retake to even attempt to find an opening. Edward is too far out. They know his position. Flusher heard that shotgun and wanted nothing to do with it, but Edward chased him up the ladder. And yeah, from here it's just Zeus going to kind of come join up with Edward to keep them both safe. I don't think Fnatic is going to chase either, but either way, 2 rounds on the board, and even though they've reset the economy, it's still going to be another buy for NaVi. They have the 3 rifles. Simple and Electronic will purchase up whatever they can, so not out of the woods just yet is Fnatic, but they're still on the verge.
Fnatic, here we go. This is everything you need to start working for you. 5-2. You've humbled the money from NaVi. That's been taken away. They still have the rifles. They still have something there. There's still a little bit of bite to the bark, but overall still sits with Fnatic in favor of money. But the timeout might be coming in here to make a discussion happen.
Oh yeah, you have to kind of put together exactly what you're going to buy. You can see Flamey, he's got 2,800, and so does Edward. They have the rifles. They can actually drop some Vamos over. So you could have a 5-rifle setup, or Scout if Simple wants to get real frisky. If he wants to get weird early on.
Yeah.
But either way, you're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna make this defense work with limited nades, likely not any kits, maybe 1 or 2. Regardless, Fnatic have a chance to strike big early on.
Something they need as well, just mentally. Hopefully this works out well for them. A couple more seconds until this one is done. I think Pistol's being brought up from NaVi, so not particularly... Oh, there's the armor to support it. All right, it's back in. So we are underway now.
But they're keeping everyone at around 2,000, so they're not fully investing into this. This isn't going to hurt them too much in the long term. This is a good way to get some short-term possibility of damage and not kind of ruin yourselves later on in the half. But look at Fnatic. 4 players towards these box halls very quickly early on. And NaVi's still not rotating. Zeus is the only one here. Normally you see that rotation come back as soon as Zeus falls back to the bomb train, and that didn't happen. That was delayed a few seconds.
Maybe not wanting to read into this, maybe just got a feeling of something else, or a whole lot of faith in Zeus to be able to control everything, but the pressure was there and the support, again, peels off. Electronics dithering slightly, does actually eventually come around. Edward's not far off either, and now with the utility being put down, this might be an indicator. JW's a little bit of a foray down Ivy has actually succeeded. It's gone quite well for him. Flamey does go down, and that's going to make it uncomfortable. Electronic now needs to watch the back line, so that's going to be the kill you see pop up there, whichever way it goes. But while this happens, they are ready to hit that B bomb site, and Zeus gets swept aside. This is nice play coming in from Fnatic.
That's a big kill from JW, that one frag that brings Electronic back. Now, he only had a deagle, so not a great chance he was going to have too much impact regardless to help support that inner bomb site. But it made it much, much easier for Fnatic to just kind of walk in and catch Zeus looking the wrong direction. But now JW's in some trouble. Peering towards Ivy, there's Simple, there's an immediate kill. That's an AK-47. That can be salvaged as they toss the M4 over to Electronic. And again, if NaVi gets out of this with 3 M4s, this is probably the best way you can lose a couple of rounds here early on in this half. You keep your money strong without having to re-spend. But Fnatic as well, inching that scoreline closer, but avoiding disaster with that full economic reset.
Here we go. Step by step, Fnatic. They're getting into this one now. The purchases, of course, can come back through now for NaVi, so they might have a little bit more to say about the next round coming up, but the money's looking decent for Fnatic.
Yeah, it is. It's starting to build up. They haven't taken too many losses in these past couple rounds. They've actually only lost 2 players in the past 2 rounds, so that's very nice for them. Draken's got the AWP still, and he's got plenty of money built up for a rebuy. Here we go again, but still no AWP on the CT side. They haven't been able to bring that back out, but they've got plenty of nades. You can see them all barreling towards the choke point. That's a lot of Molotovs and HEs used by NaVi. They've only got 1 left, but JW is going to be forced to be more passive. He's down to 36 HP already.
This is the man we were discussing on the desk, or they were discussing on the desk, should I say. They need to see more from him. It's a map where he's had moments. They've showed us some very impressive things, but we need that replicated now. We need to see a little more so. Molotov's being put down, but again, Fnatic aren't in a massive hurry. They still have all the utility in the world to burn through and try and find some of NaVi's impatience possibly to punish.
Still no one rotating inside for NaVi. This is late in the round, and Zeus is no longer spotting up the ramp. So a lot of faith being put in him. That or the research they've done in Fnatic on this map just means they want to stay with an emphasized defense. Draken somehow exposed. He really lost track of his positioning of where he was. All that's left now is to hit the center bomb site. JW's falling back over towards Ivy, and if you wait too long to attack, then certainly with the man advantage, NaVi's going to rotate someone inside. There's no reason to keep 4 players outside this long.
I'm surprised they haven't moved anyone yet. There's utility been seen, there's a lot being put to play, and Zeus is being left with it all. Still no one's moving. Zeus is waiting on, I'm not sure what, but he's going to find a whole lot of it soon. There's 2 above him. There's no one there.
This is such a massive mistake on the defense of NaVi. That's far too easy to get the bomb site in a 5-on-4. Why not? Crims has that deep angle. NaVi's got to save again.
This is not looking good for NaVi. That was nice from Fnatic, but you don't normally expect people to walk into the B bomb site, find one, and then you're done.
That position from Zeus as well, you need someone looking over you. You can't watch both spots. So some shoddy defensive work have given Fnatic their 4th, but still NaVi, at the very least, you could say they're doing a good job of keeping rifles alive every single time they lose a round. They still haven't been completely wiped out down to pistols. Problem is, it is delaying the amount of time that Simple has an op, so I think Fnatic's going to be perfectly happy with this.
Yeah, if you want to keep him tamed, that's good news. And, well,
I say
said
that. Yeah.
It's his anyway. Draken losing track of the positioning certainly did catch him out there. And we are back almost all even, 5-4 now.
Timeout being called, the second one for NaVi. Yeah, I mean, can't blame them as well. They really need to talk over for a second how exactly they want to rotate back someone in to help Zeus. There's been a lot of conversation about the different maps in which he anchors a bomb site and how, it doesn't feel like he's the appropriate person to be left alone into a bomb site. Certainly been exposed a couple times here on Train. We've seen it happen on other maps as well. But because of these saved rifles and because the NaVi's been able to keep fighting with the losing bonus building up, I mean, this is a very strong buy to them. That AWP is dropped over. There's going to be plenty of utility. They've got the 4 rifles. It's actually a pretty beautiful buy for a NaVi team who's lost 4 in a row. They have kept 3 players alive in the past 3 rounds. NaVi.
We are back underway. We can get away from the men dabbing in the crowd. Thank you. All right. Orbs up. Can he make it? What? That makes a difference. All right, Edward just straight out winning, and we see the support system in place. B is not looking so lonely, but Fnatic aren't there for once.
Flamey and JW going head-to-head. JW's won this battle once or twice and finds the timing in that smoke, pushes forward, but didn't have the vision. Flamey, that's a nice battle to take in a 5-on-3 for Na'Vi. Simple hasn't even gotten involved with the op. He was towards that inner bomb site. Finally, they had some help for Zeus, but who's going to provide the opening for Fnatic if they want to get into this? Again, they were never able to stamp out the economy.
Molotov might force a bit of discomfort towards Edward. Gonna smoke that off, and this could be the go signal. This could be Fnatic trying to do what they can with the remainders of what they have left, but for now, they're just burning through the utility. No one's really playing back into it either. Crim's up on the AWP, not exactly the man you'd expect, but why not try and make it count? Does get a tag, not gonna get the kill, however. Holding off, 5 men still stand for Na'Vi.
Crim's just missed Simple jumping out of connector as well. He's out, he's gonna work his way up. Flusha heading towards that inner bomb site. 27 seconds left on the clock. Crims has to provide something. He's in position to pounce. Na'Vi is starting to feel uneasy. They're starting to get an idea of what's coming. 3 players inside for the moment. Fnatic might have them outfooled, but they need the kills more than anything. Edward at an off angle. No one spotted him yet. He sees the glimpse, but he misses the shot. Flamey's got to do something. Wrapping around the bomb tray. They can play the timer. It's in their favor, and all the kills are as well. They all come at the same time. Na'Vi back on the board with 6.
Really nice stuff from Flamey, and that clock was run so low. And we still see if Fnatic can keep trying to pull this one back in, keep trying to bring the game back towards maybe a favorable situation. For now, though, Na'Vi continue their trajectory we saw from possibly the last map, keeping this one going in their favor. Look at this pace, Jason. They're going so quick here. JW's just going to quicken it up, and it works. Edward gets deleted. You got Flamey trying to respond in kind, and he's going to do very well at that. Flusha receives punishment, but this is hard for Na'Vi to work back into. They do not have any step here towards the outer side, but somehow Electronic's still operating pretty well. Simple trying to spot a player out, but the bomb ticks, and they just walk into him. Exist. Mistakes being made here, and now down to 2. Fnatic start to feel the pressure start to mount.
JW has to get this kill on a Simple, and he is. Simple wasn't prepared for it. More to follow up, but no. Draken's got it all to do, and this is too much. Smoke in his face as well on one side. Trying to get clever, it's not gonna happen. That pace was great. The opening kill was phenomenal from JW, but everyone is just stranded out in the open. No one ever got into safe positions, and they're just, too many players just picked off from afar. Fnatic dropped the ball. Plant there, though. They can actually buy another round. Flush is a bit low on funds. You have to say, you have to give props for Na'Vi. Some phenomenal economic decisions have allowed them to, despite sustaining 4 round losses in a row, they never had to save.
No, you're absolutely right. Zeus has been quite quiet, but Draken's having a bit of a mare here. He's not having a good game yet. I think he's got 2 kills, is it?
Yes, and he had a very tough overpass as well, so you got to imagine still a pretty young and relatively inexperienced player compared to some of the other guys in this server. It's going to be tough to bounce back from that.
Now seeing a little bit of CT aggression coming out this time on both sides of the map. Zeus went for a little bit of a look as well. Now with the support Simple, maybe feeling he can, and that's not a bad idea. It draws outside the utility, leads him into the trap, and you do not get to go past.
That is a nice, fast timing peek from Simple. Delayed take of ladder room by Edward as well. Flusha to contend with that. He's got a Molotov, smoke and flash, and ooh, that's aggressive. JW's gone down to Flamey. I think that was actually spammed through a smoke, so JW might be a bit peeved about that one. And Draken, he's the next one up. Flashbang comes out, nice control, needs to find Edward. Edward remained focused on ladder room, but Simple's too fast for Exist, trying to hold the angle. And Flush is left in a 1 versus 3. Low health as well, 45 seconds left. Not a whole lot you imagine that he could do. The idea in his head has got to be take some weapons away, make it costly, a costly victory for Na'Vi. 1 or 2 more kills would be ideal.
Seconds to make it happen, though. Feels though Simple's already starting to consider this. Timing could be a factor here. Flusher could get it right. You don't really get it right against Simple, do you? You don't get away with much. But again, the scoreline starts to lead favorably towards NaVi by some substantial margin, and the problem now becomes that's a really nice large
chicken.
Yeah. Don't know what you're expecting me to say. 8-4 though, the money has been stripped away from Fnatic now, and NaVi, I guess, just kind of weathered the storm. They had the money being stripped away from them. They kept those 3 players alive on a regular basis. Now Edward's going for a bit of farm. He's fancying a bit of money-making times here. And well, we'll see if Zeus can hold it all back. We've questioned if he's able to solo these sides out, but quickly now you can see Flamey coming around to support. This time, not going to leave him alone too long.
See how this goes, just a straight up hit towards the inner bomb site. Gonna try and get that bomb plant of Molotov in the face though. Zeus, this is well done from him this time. An immediate headshot on the third, and Flamey's even there for the backup. Covering him from above, and no one will fall for NaVi. 9-4. You almost have to feel like Fnatic needs one more round. Get that 5th in there. Up in the hands of Simple, and it's them who are flush with cash now, but Fnatic's got a solid buy. They can open the playbook back up, get fancy with it. The problem is, with Draken not producing and Flamey starting to win that battle, because he's coming to this day hot against JW and Ivy, where does Fnatic get the openings? They've had a couple miraculous ones from Crims just coming out of Team 8, but you can't rely on that. And now Simple's getting aggressive. He's close up, and Edward's got a follow-up kill. They're the 2 people I just mentioned, JW and Draken. They're both dead. So early in this round, and just 20 seconds. Yeah, all that's left is try and make some magic, try and make some kind of an individual play, catch NaVi off guard, but it's not happening.
I worry that their CT side won't fare any better for Fnatic, though. This is the issue. Edward's so close as well. Could just crouch on the Crims. Here's the step. He takes the shot. He gets it done. We're down to exist in a 1v5. 1 minute on the board and a whole lot to do. 2 kills by his name and already being watched. Simple from up above. It's domination now. NaVi starting to look incredibly strong.
Yeah, they've really come alive. Those 4-round victories for Fnatic just started to look like a hiccup in this NaVi machine. One more chance, and this time Fnatic has to do it with a pretty busted buy. A UMP coming out, a couple of Galils, a CZ on JW, 3 Galils for that. And here we go, one more chance, and you almost expect Fnatic's gonna pick up the pace. Seem to be running out of ideas here on Train in this first half. Flusher to lead the way in box halls. Zeus is here at the lower ramp. Electronic has gotten aggressive towards Ivy, and he's picked off Draken again.
They're just getting so much success wherever they go. This aggression works really well. And again, the tag comes through. Exist does stay alive at least, but everything's just seemingly falling really nicely. They're having the right ideas, they're pushing it out. Don't get me wrong, it's not like they're just getting lucky, but it's working really nicely.
Fnatic's just had to play too many rounds with a man deficit, like really early on as well. Now look at what's happening. This push in mid from Edward, he's gonna hear those footsteps from JW. He's calling it out. Flamey and Electronic are already rotated to the inner bomb site. Simple's hustling as well. He's got his Nikes on. He's gonna get over to that bomb site shortly. And what an outplay from NaVi in this round. Fnatic is gonna be so confused as to how this was read.
We're about to see the heroic entrance towards the B-bomb site, but sadly there's 1, 2, 3, 4 players for NaVi in their way. Crims is going to get 1, but do you expect Zeus still alive? Buying time, spraying in. Exist succeeds, and the plant will come through. But they're so swift to this. There's no aggression from the T's to be found. They can't get that far ahead. And Edward works his way forward, step by step, getting closer. And here with the flash goes in, dismantles Exist, and this last remaining bastion of hope for Fnatic falls around beside them, and it's NaVi looking incredibly good.
Even if that initial hold doesn't actually, isn't as crazy as we might have thought it was with so many players, the fact that they had like the 3 players ready for the retake early on in that bomb timer allows Edward to be so slow walking up along the train. He can take his time and he can be patient. Nice work from NaVi, starting out with this. Simple put an exclamation point on the pistol round and continued it
Hello, B.
That was Lauren. Simple is 20-4 in that first half. Flamey down at 14-5, Electronic 13-6. That trio was dominant in overpass, and it's looking very, very strong here on trade as well.
Yeah, no, it's really damn good. I mean, you can't say much against it. It's always been a factor of, you know, if you get maybe one of the players turning up, maybe two, you've got a really competitive team. All three, and they become scary. That's when you get that swing factor. The odds kind of indicate that too. We are back underway in the second half here. Fnatic need a lifeline. This is looking dire for them as NaVi sit at 11. And Fnatic merely with 4.
Nice little B bomb site rush as NaVi drops down. Flush is going to be forced back, trying to get 1 kill at range with that USP. He's under a lot of pressure though, but his teammates are going to be here. That's Draken swinging out wide. Edward caught in no man's land, but they're going to get the bomb plant at the very least. No Molotov for this bomb plant to stop the defuse.
That's nice, though. That's precision from Draken. Zeus's aggression could work out, but the timing, it's a bit awkward for him. He actually has too many targets to think about. Simple too far away to be relevant, but Electronic buying time and getting kills. 3v1 Simple. Wrong place, wrong time. Gives the game away. He finds Exist, but there's not a kill on these two. He's got a chance on this until then. Draken says no. He had a hot round.
That's a piss around and a half. 4 kills from him and some pretty immediate headshots. You want him to get started in the second half, which they would need to make the comeback again. That is one way to do it. M4s come out, and NaVi's going to go for an early buy. The AK-47 passed from Electronic over to Simple. So they want to do some economic damage. There's the first. These are nice kills at range, and even Zeus couldn't handle them as well. So Fnatic win the pistol, a lifeline there for them. It just seems it's another long comeback, Lauren. And you have to feel like, you know, asking Fnatic to do it on 2 maps is just such a difficult task.
It really is, but if you want it, that's how you're going to do it. Right now we do have Simple with the hero rifle. Probably not going to be expecting that. Bit of contact made there. I'm pretty sure they saw each other just before that smoke plumed.
Simple with the duel. Actually comes out on the losing end of that one, just barely, but he's going to go for more. Very confident and cocky, and perhaps a little bit too much. Tag down to 11 HP. He's the only one with armor, so he's going to keep the AK-47, see what else he can find. This is a big sacrifice for Electronic. He's down to 250, so the next round might hurt for him. And that AK hasn't done anything for NaVi.
No, you're going to be banking on the others to try and help him out here. Maybe play him in if they can, but there's not much damage done at all to the other side. Even utility, they still have a little bit of. They're not forced out into any rotations. Got a bit of a look towards B. Flush playing very far away from this. Only with the UMP. JW is there with the scout, so that can play into this one. He's getting relatively close as well, so it looks like this is the desired location, and with 25 seconds, they're going to have to make a bit of a move at it soon. They don't have much time to mess around on this now. Flusher ready. Timing on that. What? That deagle was sick. And they're getting a plant and kills. It's a 5v3. Simple was out of this fight. This retake, it's not coming through cleanly though. Exist and Crims, what's just gone on? Have you just dropped the ball at the very end of this? This was meant to be your round. You did the bit you had to. You put away Simple. He was tamed for now, but Crims, he doesn't see it. Edward still could have had a chance, but now they're getting low. Now they're running out of players, but there's only one man against them. It's Exist in a 1v3. He can't do it. NaVi against all odds.
That is the stuff of nightmares. That is the worst kind of deja vu. Every time NaVi have lost a pistol, they've won the second round in this series, and that just can't happen for Fnatic, especially not here. Facing elimination, down 5-12, and they kind of have to reinvest into this. 2 scouts gonna come out on Draken and Crims. CZs are bought up on the other 3. No nades, no kits whatsoever. This shot is so nasty. That is the one that did it. The jumping player was the distraction, and the deagle had a clear shot. 4 AKs, 1 MAC-10 on Zeus. There's Edward with the kill on a JW. A nice trade, though, from Crims with the scout. But the rest of NaVi, Zeus is going to start leading the way. He's using the cover of the smoke to get up halfway along these trains. He can wait for a flashbang from his teammate if he prefers it.
Yeah, Flamey's starting to step out now as well. Electronic and Simple not far behind this time to build into this. Draken absent. Again, Flamey dominates as they take over real estate, but Exist on the long way around, catches out Simple. This is big. Zeus needs to find a reply and fast. Like, don't... Ooh, Crims, what is that? Just stuck the barrel down his throat. It's a 2v3, this time favorable to Fnatic. Maybe they can do what was just done to them, maybe not though. 2 rifles against them, Electronic and Flame. You've had good games as well. They're already on a kill each, so they're starting to look hot in this one. And there's Exist, finds Flamey. Just down to Electronic now, the bomb continues to stick. Flusher gets a little closer. He takes him down though, Electronic now, he spotted him. I'm pretty sure he's seen this. He's gonna back away, make him work for it.
He's playing the time, he's using the bomb as his teammate, and Exist can't do anything about it. He's got no kit, this round's over. Electronic has won it, that nice shot on the Flusher. Took so much pressure away that he's able to just outright win it, and he punishes Exist as well for even the attempt. Comprehensive victory from NaVi, it's 13-5 in their favor. We saw that nice comeback from Fnatic on Overpass, and it just seemed like a matter of time, but you start to get that feeling here as well.
It's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, sadly this time for Fnatic, the money is gone. You're looking at 14-5. Again, we saw the great comeback on the last map. I don't know if that has any potential here. We haven't seen those sparks that we saw last time. Bit of a stack though, this could work well. He can make it possibly. Crims does well, Crims does very well! What is going on in these rounds, Chase?
This time they weren't slow about it, this time they just attacked. And they ran right into the stack. Last time they sent Zeus on the Mac 10 out to scout, at least for the close-up angles. Flamey gets caught fighting inside of his namesake, and he's gonna go down. 13-6 Fnatic.
Okay.
That's a good win. That'll give you a little bit of life, and that actually keeps the scoreline close enough to make this believable. NaVi, on the other hand, gonna be back down. I mean, you might as well invest in pistols, I guess, if you're NaVi, since you've won so many of these rounds throughout the series. Couple of AKs bought up by NaVi. Zeus back on the Mac 10. Pistols on Flamey and Edward as well. Bringing some utility to fight with. This time they're going to be much more patient with their attack.
I think they've learned their lesson a little bit.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
You'd imagine so. You're toying with Crims there. Edward walks away from it with his life. NaVi beginning to posture for where they can take over. Exist is on the other side of this though, down by the bottom of Ivy. On Zeus and Electronic there. Having a little look, but plenty of utility for Fnatic to burn through.
Exist spotted the legs of Zeus just as he went over. It wasn't a clean run boost. He's gonna come out looking for a little bit of damage early on. He gets some of it, not too much. Fnatic is ready for an outer hit. JW is rotating over right now. Crims of the bomb train and Exist and Draken kind of buddied up at the end of Ivy. 45 seconds left on the clock. NaVi is really slow playing this now, starting to use some of that utility. You imagine Zeus, now the only one in Ivy, turns into a lurker with that Mac 10. He can be as aggressive as you like. And Edward postures towards inside, but it exists at range to get that opening kill. That's Simple gone down. That's a big piece. That's one of the AKs as well.
Yeah, that's huge. Zeus to try and get a little bit of room to work, but Draken's positioning denied him from getting anywhere behind him. Electronics found success, and then some. Apparently, the third's too far away, and it's shut out by Fnatic. 3 alive still, Orb still up in play. Draken being pretty integral in that too by denying that little bit of positioning from Zeus.
I think Fnatic has accomplished what they just couldn't do in the first half, which is make NaVi save. Only Glocks on the board. Everyone sat around 2,000. I think NaVi just has to sit around out. Maybe just go for some kind of a desperate plant, but can't really afford to invest here. You'd be really hurting yourself long term.
Look at the company man in the crowd, eh? 7-13. Get the admin back on the stage, all right? Put him in the crowd. We have a really nice purchase for Fnatic, beyond the fact that Flusher only ever sits on a USPS here, but the aggression will be over towards the box halls. Now, NaVi have been quelled a little, and Draken takes a lot of damage.
Yeah, that must have been a P250 at range. That's very nice shot from Electronic towards Ivy, but now the SMG from JW. Him and Flusher just getting aggressive. They want to put a little bit of fear into NaVi moving forward, telling them that they're willing to take some of these fights. Electronic has got a new position. JW doesn't expect it. He's going to clear it anyways. There's the good find. Draken cleans him up. No one falls for Fnatic. 8-13. Very, very close to being back in this.
It's not happening again, Jason. Come on, mate.
It's easier this time. I mean, Overpass, they had to come back from 4 to 15. Like, this is a little bit easier to manage. I always believe in Fnatic. I'm an optimist like that.
You're an optimist. Well, we're all screwed then. 13-8, this is another big one for NaVi. If they can stop this now, then they kind of power forward. The money is good for Fnatic, though. They're trying to go a little bit aggressive here. This is above the smoke. That's really nice from Exist. Great early strike towards Electronic. They can fall off that. That's great damage done.
It's Fnatic on both maps. It feels like when they have the confidence and the willingness to get aggressive, that seems to give them results. The problem is the only time they've gotten aggressive is when all hope seems lost, which just happens to be too late in the game at times. Here still they can recover and flush as well with the delayed peek. Edward caught looking the other direction, and instead now it's Fnatic with a 2-man advantage, doing to NaVi what NaVi did to them in the first half. Over a minute with only 3 players, and NaVi is all spread out. Zeus is alone. Gonna win that, a nice duel for him. JW is gonna rotate to the B-bomb site to close the gap. You still have Simple on the board.
Flamey was as well. Simple's still got fire to him, but the problem is the bomb's so far away and Zeus is so... It's gonna be uncomfortable. You've got Crims basically watching this. Unless Zeus gets the best of him or makes some more room, Simple's still pretty far away with only 38 seconds to support. You've got to feel as though Fnatic still have a really good step in this.
There's 2 things that's going to happen. It's either going to be a save call from NaVi, or they meet up and attack T-mid very, very quickly. 28 seconds left. They do have 2 smokes and flashbangs to work with. They're going to make one last go of this. Draken's out here, misses the initial shot. That might pull their attention. Crims is ready and waiting at a different angle, and Zeus, no idea. That's going to be the round, no matter what happens, no matter how many kills Simple gets. Pick up that AWP, 10 seconds on the clock, and he just can't make it. You can't pick up the bomb and plant, so grab the up, try and save, and hope they don't try and hunt you down. And that doesn't have a great amount of money built up on these remaining 2 players, so I don't think they will. Oh, he gets the leg through the smoke. He's almost done it. He's just never out of a fight, is he?
It feels like there's nothing you can do to push him down. I mean, even with no one else around him. Now, the time has been called. Maybe NaVi getting a little bit, you know, reminiscent of what they felt on the last map. Maybe that is starting to creep into their mind, like, okay, they are right at our door now. We don't want to drop the ball, but we're not having that much success. They haven't been flat out winning out. We've seen a couple of moments that work well, but this is now 4 in a row for Fnatic. They've really started to turn around this game here.
Once again, showing some fire, showing us why they've picked Train. Stumbled a little bit on the T side, but CT starting to come together. Some aggressive peaks in the mid-round. Exist with the boost, Flusha with a late peek in towards box halls. Simple had that phenomenal first half. I think he had 17 or 18 kills or something by the end of it. He's got 23 right now. Electronics caught up at 21. On the other side of the board, it's Crims leading with 18 frags. Draken, JW, and Flusha all sitting at 10 and 11.
Simple's just off. He's just doing what he wants. His teammates were around him initially. There's always a few. Back around we go. And NaVi just looking for anywhere they can, but there's not many places you can go with this.
No, but you keep it slow, because you have Simple with that op, so you wanted to be involved, you wanted to try and find a pick, and then what's going to happen eventually when they do hit is all those pistols will move forward, and you'll just have Simple kind of covering angles, waiting for the players to rotate, waiting for the peaks, and trying to pin down defenders. It's not going to be easy, especially with 2 players inside of the bomb site. Flusha and JW both committed behind the first train and the bomb train. Flusha holding a Molotov, waiting for his time, and actually they just bust down. There's the flashbang. Molotov's going to be out. Simple might have to get out of that. He's holding for the peak, and oh, it was just too late. The flames forced him away. He didn't want to sit into it that long. Edward couldn't cross into the site. That's the bomb down. They almost got what they wanted. It was just a half second off. At least 1 kill is going to go in the favor of Zeus, and Simple actually chiming in. It's a 2-on-3.
Bomb's not planted for them, though. That's still something that's going to be hard to get past. You've got 1 player on towards the upper side of things, and that's Simple gone. It's all on Zeus now in a 1v3. He gets the first, but he takes a lot of damage for it. Falling back towards side, he's lost track of Exist. Finding him is going to be tough, and look at the angle. Look at the line Exist is holding. Hearing all of this, Zeus doesn't know what trouble he's in. 10 seconds now remains. He's going to try and get a plant out of this one. He might get away with it? Up and over we go. Flusher says no. And it's another on the board for Fnatic. We are getting very close now. 10 to 13. Money is still okay for NaVi, so they are not out of the woods yet for Fnatic.
I'd love to have that plan. I think they're going to want to try and drop an op over to Simple. I think they're talking about it right now, but it's not going to be easy. Flamey wouldn't be able to afford helmet, so he'll have to sit that out, but it's all right. You've got Simple with a big weapon. Fnatic's money, on the other hand, is looking great. Even taking 3 losses in that previous round, it's still pretty healthy behind this purchase. Here we go. Flusha pushing up towards Inner at the base of the ramp. Crimson ladder room, and Simple drops down.
How are you ever going to predict that? How are you ever going to deal with just Simple flying down Pop and just destroying you? And now they're down to 4. And that's without anything else really happening.
Yeah, when all else fails, just let Simple take over the game. And look at the utility again from Fnatic. They've used so much so early. 2 smokes on Exist and Draken. 3 flashbangs and an nade, and this is the play that might get them back into the round. Exist with this big flank. That can start to allow players to cheat over towards the B-bomb, so you still have JW pushed up towards E-box, but the ult for Fnatic can be in position. Flank's been given away though, and actually, JW with 1 kill towards ladder room. Now NaVi have no real other options. 1 minute left, they have time to do it, but go forward. Draken's rotating in, but it's all Flusha for the moment.
The smokes and the flashes were good. They hadn't NaVi down, but they actually hit the brakes here. They didn't go for the same hit. Now, this is actually drawn over 3 players. This is quite smart here from NaVi, but it's all time dependent.
And this is very convincing call from NaVi, but on the other hand, Fnatic is taking too long to rotate back into position. Exist is going to call it out now. His position is known. Flamey wants that fight, and he's going to win it. JW close up behind the smoke, and Draken now here as well.
He can stop this all, though. JW's position, I don't know if they're going to check for this. Edward, so close. JW here, the steps, he waits, he strikes. 1's not enough for him, he wanted more. He gets down Simple. That's a big head to claim and put on the mantelpiece in this 2v2 with 15 seconds. Zeus is depending on that kill, but it's still Flusha, and he's waiting for the time to make it impossible. Oh no! The bomb's gone down, it's a 1v1, what a disaster this has been.
Oh, what a tag on a Fleming, but he needs this. This is going to be so disappointing. He wanted to stop that bomb plant. He doesn't have it in him. He's getting tagged right through the bottom of the train. He jumps up, and Flamey's got it. A mistake from Flusha. He thought that was going to be easier, and that blunder might cost them this second map, and you can see the frustration as well. Heartbreak for Fnatic.
God damn.
He played that so perfectly. He had everything he could have wanted.
Oh. And then the shots underneath the train.
For someone who's had so much success on the stage, you're going to add that is going to live in his memory probably, perhaps longer than even lifting some of those trophies. That 1 kill right there is going to be a nightmare.
Horrible for him. We'll see if he can shake it off for now, at least. NaVi's T-side starting to be given moments like that to build on. How much more can you get away with? Money for Fnatic is kind of broken too. They're getting towards the end of it.
Well, they're at the end of it. No, 1 kit on Crims, but running out of nades already. NaVi can deliver the killing blow right here. Slow and measured. Not like they have any great amount of money built up either. 2 Galils for them, and that's the end of their cash. Just Simple with $1,300 in reserves. Here's Draken, he's got the angle, needs to hit 1 of these shots. 1 player's already out mid, he goes for the jump, and now he's spotted 1, but Electronics already crossed past him, and Crims wasn't ready for it. Draken needs to step up in a big way here. He's got the first and the second. He's keeping Fnatic in this round, but still more pressure, and Edward's gonna chase him. Edward does not want him to be alive, and Draken's ready for that one as well. 2 on 2, and now a 1-on-1, and Draken's done everything. 3 kills for him.
He still needs more. Zeus is playing the time. Around and around we go. The timing, it does not work for him. It's Zeus taking NaVi to 15 rounds, and Draken, there was real life shown him in that round. But when it mattered the most, when it was that final moment, he just couldn't find it.
Frustration for him as well, you can see there on the screen. Much different reactions between the 2 players, and you have to feel like Fnatic, between that round and between Flusha's lost clutch, and all the comebacks they've had to make from 4 to 15 on overpass. Here they've kind of scraped back into this.
Hit them with the boot. That's why we like you, Cologne. Keep them in check. Eyebrows raised everywhere. 15 to 10 though, back to topic. This is when it gets a lot more serious than just pandering to the crowd. This is Draken's moment to really shine. This could have been his big time. To be fair, he kept them in this round until that point.
Yeah, he did. I mean, it's a difficult clutch to win as well. I just think that's too much. The crushing weight of coming back in these two maps. I mean, they've accomplished it both times to get within striking distance at the very least. And now you feel like NaVi, they've got 5 chances to close it out. And this first one, 4 CZs and a Deagle.
NaVi, if they win this one round, they make it through to those semi-finals. They've had a very arduous run throughout this tournament, but they've proven time and time again that they can deliver on task.
Here's the thing, NaVi's dominance in the series has been so good that even when they've stumbled, it's still just so far away for Fnatic. They've just been so on point for the majority of these games that they can overcome these mistakes, and JW is going to have the first chance.
This is when you need the classic. This is when you need the JW who can just break hearts and take names. It has to start now. They need to make these kills count, and it's just not happening. NaVi, one step in the right direction. Crims might be up for it, though. Tag's not quite good enough here. It's still a 4v3. Exists Draken and Flusher now being taken through the ringer. We're down to 2. It's looking good, like NaVi might be able to close us out right here, right now.
NaVi are going to book a spot in the semifinals with this win. Exist still waiting inside the smoke. He was covered by flames earlier as well. Couldn't make any kind of a play. Now Edwards spotted his position. He can't win that fight. And Flusha is just too far away. All the former champions of ESL One Cologne are eliminated here on the stage in the quarterfinals. It's going to be NaVi heading into the semis. As simple, who better to end it? An up shot to swat aside Flusha, 16 to 10 on Train. And there goes Fnatic.
Yeah, Fnatic sadly falling under the pressure, not quite able to keep up with NaVi, who after the first map looked phenomenal. The second map still showed dominance. We're seeing those individuals that we often ask one of them to turn up. We saw all 3 throughout the series.
I think the fashion in which this match has been lost by Fnatic is going to be heartbreaking, and it's going to be tough for them to deal with, but I think you also put in the context that this is still very early on in this lineup's time together. They can still build upon the success that they've had here, and that's not a bad showing whatsoever.
Well, that is the first match done for ESL One Cologne, but there's plenty more to be seen and plenty more to be said. Guys on the desk, what are your thoughts on that?
I'll be finding out. Thank you very much. That's Moses and Pansy there. Yes, NaVi do take a stroll through the quarterfinals, a rather leisurely one at that. We do have Sponge and Thor in here to provide some insight. Fnatic fall, and I don't know if Fnatic fans and Fnatic players alike are going to be happy with the amount of resistance they presented. Even in loss, this doesn't feel like a loss that you can find some shining light in.
I think the comebacks are allowed by NaVi's playstyle, and I guess the fact that they continue to force buy and put situations where it does turn in their favor. We saw them once again in the second half, the force buy come into play, and they won the round. But when they're playing those kind of rounds, you are playing with fire. You are going to allow a team to get in and have some easier rounds than if they were versing full gun rounds. So with the comeback, you could read into it that way, maybe a little asterisk there. But in terms of Fnatic in this event, they've exceeded expectations for me because we did have the likes of Liquid go out already. We had the likes of Mousesports not even make it to the playoffs. Fnatic have just come together and they look all right.
Absolutely. We do have Simple standing by backstage. I want to hear from him fresh off of his victory before we continue to break this down.
At the start, and I think that's exactly what he is. First off, just talk me through that win. It was 2-0. The first map wasn't particularly easy, but you guys looked strong towards the end.
First of all, thanks everyone who came today, even if it's a quarterfinal. Even if it's quarterfinals, also people doing this show really great. Thank you guys. And yeah, so on overpass we start really good, but after the start comeback, we became really nervous. We knew that Fnatic is a team that can always come back from every score. So, and then on second map, we start good at City, and we knew how to play against them. We knew our opponent, we were ready for them.
This NaVi squad, you're starting to really hit your stride, aren't you? You're playing some great Counter-Strike. You obviously are on a level. Do you feel you're getting enough support now from your teammates?
Yeah, of course. All of us spent so much time in this game to become much better. I believe that we can become more better than now.
Are you a team, though? Are you all playing together?
Of course, yeah.
Of course you are. You're going to get the semi-finals. It's Astralis in the semi-finals. How they've played so far at ESL One Cologne has been amazing. How do you combat that? How do you beat that?
We're gonna prepare for them. We're gonna prepare like for any opponent, but the game against Astralis is gonna be special because they're best team in the world right now. Everyone looking on them, and we're gonna try hard and fight with our heart.
How'd you beat them, though? If it's not with your hearts, obviously there's got to be some sort of game plan. How'd you beat them?
I mean...
Come on, give it away, tell me.
Maybe individually, I don't know. Everything can happen, everything can happen.
What a man. This man's simple. What a player, what a team. They're through to the semi-finals. We're going to end this by getting you, my friend, to sign the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, Simple and NaVi!
We are one, he has a one, and I have two here at the analyst desk. We do, of course, return to break this one down a little further. I do feel that we have a lot to be said about NaVi, much less so about Fnatic.
Yes.
Duncan, I'll let you kind of lead the way.
Well, one of the mismatches, I mean, he put his signature on the camera there. Simple's signature was all over this game, but it wasn't just him, actually. Despite what Chad said, which I agree with, is if you go man for man, pound for pound, Fnatic actually has the more skilled lineup because obviously, you know, people like Draken, they didn't do very well in this game, exists as an in-game leader, always been known as a fragger, you know. But in this particular game, their firepower was woeful. They were getting by on either great moves on T side of overpass or over on train. It was veterans trying to win clutches. NaVi's already up, so you hope you can pressure them a little bit. They're not actually the best team in clutches anyway, NaVi, and then you go and look at the stats at the end of the game. Yes, the veterans showed up for Fnatic. They were able to do something, but if Flame is going to show up, and Electron's going to show up. We already know Simple's going to put his stats up, so I feel like that was the big mismatch for me, is forget the stylistic aspect, the maps. You're never going to win a map if they're putting their 3 stars up like that.
Wow.
And you're struggling, you're hoping that, you know, Crims can grind out around here, Flusher can win. I mean, he tried that 1v2, that didn't really go very well, so I feel like that was always the mismatch.
3 of their players from NaVi are a stone's throw away from 100 ADR each.
But that is what you expect with this roster, right? Because look, Edward and Zeus, they've had their heyday back in 1.6. They're the backbone of the team right now. They need to be doing the grunt work to allow their stars to shine. And this is what you need to see happen consistently if NaVi want to be a top 3 team in the world every event they go to, right? And there is chance for that. If this can click and happen against an Astralis, it's possible.
And would you like you to click and tap and do a little bit of a demonstration for us? What is it you're showing here on the telestrator?
So towards the end of that game, you could see NaVi just going hyper-aggressive towards Team mid, straight into Pop Dog, Simple with the AWP, very JW-esque. And then you had, in the last round of the game, Electronic, the man, pushing Ivy. And I want to show what that allowed to happen. So if we focus on Electronic here, he's going to push Ivy. He's going to find a kill onto Draken through the Molotov. So if you play close to the Flames people at home, you can actually see where the guy further back, he can't do the same. So at this point, it's a 4-on-5 situation. Normally, teams on the T side, they're going to opt to go towards the inner bomb side. We're going to fast forward a little bit here, and you can see the rotation at this point is already coming in. Everyone's starting to cheat over towards that inner bomb site, expecting that call to come in. As we keep playing it out, you can see that there's 4 players, as Simple makes it towards CT spawn, who are already close enough to stop this inside attack. You also want to put a bit of focus here on Edward, who's in Team middle. He's got a lot of information himself, and at this point, they're more than happy to hedge their bets. When the execute comes in, Electronic and Zeus, the 2 players right here, are going to trade out pretty efficiently, but the guys from Fnatic aren't going to be expecting 2 more players already there to lock them down. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. When you see this rotation come in, I want you to focus on what Simple can see at this point and what Flamey can see. So Zeus and Electronic have already died or are about to die, but the information from Simple and Flamey is there's 1 guy Bomb Train and 1 guy Pop Dog. As we play it forward now, the rotation is going to come in. Edward knows where the last 2 players are. He's able to creep on up, as you can see right here, get close and personal as Simple and Flamey oversee and just destroy the last 2 players. And with the Simple stack, a little bit of early aggression and an opening kill, they're able to hedge their bets inside and destroy the attack.
And I guess that's also testament to the power of pushing for information. Exactly. It's such a gamble, but I mean, when that reward comes in, Duncan, it is just, it almost looks like the round's done for you. You get the information, you know where they're coming. It's so favored to the CT side.
This is why, actually, not only in yesterday's interview, but every time I see Flamey interviewed in this team, because in the past, you know, it was just Simple doing well, the rest were doing badly. When people would say, you know, what does the team need to do? What do they need to fix? He always says communication, actually. He always says that's like the weak point of the team. Because you think about it, they've got some very good players, got some very good veterans, but they aren't always a very polished team, which you'd think you would be with that kind of perfect blend. So anytime they do have good communication like that, you see how much more it enhances even players like Edward, like Zeus, who normally, in terms of raw firepower, are going to be somewhat lagging within the team.
Yeah, and I mean, there is, with Flusher's name on the screen, it does spark a memory of this map as well. There's a couple of good ones, of course, from Katowice. This time, quite the contrary, Duncan. I mean, what do you make of that miss? Do we call it a miss? Do we call it a mistake? I mean, what do we call it?
I mean, obviously, that's a spot where intuitively your brain tells you I can shoot through this, it's fine. Then you have also got the other classic bane of all Counter-Strike players, which is when someone's diffusing a bomb and they're crouched, which we all know that head hitbox disappears completely out.
They're supposed to have fixed it. They fixed it, apparently.
They say that. So those two factors combined, I feel for him, you know. Probably shouldn't have kept spraying once he noticed nothing was happening. And to be fair, he did still kill him. It's just that at that point, you needed to get the instant kill there, and then maybe you had a
time.
shot.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I mean, Chad, this is it. This is what we're talking about.
You don't love to see it.
Shot from under the train as well. It's just so difficult to retake.
Yeah, look, in these kind of situations when you're getting late round, we were having a lot of after-plant scenarios going down, and eventually they're not going to go your way. You can't expect to win every single one of these.
Sure.
And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So unfortunately here, didn't pan out for Fnatic, but there are positive signs.
There are positive signs, and that's actually what I want to focus on now. We know NaVi are going into the semi-final. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think another time I've seen Simple look so, well, a lack of confidence when talking about the next match. Individuals, I guess. Like, I mean, NaVi are fearing Astralis, Chad.
Well, you saw in that interview with all the players, this is the team that they have to respect, right? And the thing is, with Astralis, they come into every tournament prepared 150%, not just 100%. They're inventing new things constantly, and that's what's allowed when you actually go home and practice properly for a little while, instead of being on the grind of the tournament circuit. Coming into this, anything that you've seen NaVi do is going to be looked at by Zonic, looked at by Glaive, and they're already going to be working out ways to counter it. The force buys that you're seeing get won time and time again from NaVi here, you're not going to get the same allowances against an Astralis.
Okay, well, with all of that said, we do, of course, have more Counter-Strike coming up, but we are on a set schedule. It's an experiment going on here at ESL One Cologne, so you can go ahead and grab your beverage, grab your snack, check out the booths if you're here in the Lanxess Arena. If you're at home, we've got something for you to go ahead and indulge in. We're going to go ahead and see what some players said about what ESL One Cologne means to them.
Well, ever since I started playing Counter-Strike Global Offensive, it's always been one of the tournaments that I liked watching the most.
It's every Counter-Strike player's dream come true.
Cologne is like one of the hometowns of CS, I would say.
Like this event, like the atmosphere has just something really unique to it.
ESL One Cologne means for me almost everything. It was one of my first really big tournaments in CSGO, and I always dreamed about playing in the arena in the playoffs.
The arena is probably the best one that I've played in.
To me, it's like one of the biggest events I've ever played.
The Lanxess Arena is one of the best stadium to play CS.
Well, at least I know for ESL One Cologne is that it's got one of the best arenas for sure, the Lanxess Arena.
The arena has a capacity of like 20,000 people, and people from all around the world are flying out to spectate this event because it's known as one of the greatest events in Counter-Strike history.
It's something special. The crowd here is not one-sided. It's always with every team, and yeah, it's really amazing.
In my dream, I want to play at the final of this crowd.
It will be a great experience for our team, and it will be a good test for us at the moment.
It's the Cathedral of Counter-Strike, you know. It's an awesome comp to go to.
I mean, it's one of the best tournaments around in Counter-Strike, and it's a very high prestige to win such a tournament.
Right, God knows how this is going to go. While we do hang out and relax, we're preparing for that next Counter-Strike game to begin. Of course, Big Clan are going to be playing next, and sure, the crowd are going to be looking forward to seeing how they fare versus G2. But for now, I think, Duncan, you're going to become the honorary host of our custom came up with it 5 seconds ago game show.
Okay.
How does it work?
Quizmaster.
Explain it, Quizmaster.
So, as the esports historian, which you've all agreed I am, I'm going to ask a series of questions related to past ESL One Cologne events.
All right. Oh, God.
And to make it not too difficult, because not everyone watched all of them. You know, Alex used to be doing Call of Duty back then.
True.
Oh,
it's going to be multiple choice, so you can technically get it right just by accident, you know. Kind of like Zeus is somehow in the semi-finals. I don't know why he wasn't doing anything. But anyway, right, so I'll ask, there's 5 questions, 4 answers for each. You're going to each show me A, B, C, or D, depending on which you're going to pick. Okay. And then the winner gets like this massive box of MSI stuff. I don't know what's in there. What's in the box? We'll have a look later.
All right, cool.
So whoever wins gets that And let me think. How are
Oh
we
yeah,
gonna
we
do
give
this?
it. So we share it with a fan as well.
Yes, something like you're going to share it with some fan, and then I think he gets the prize or whatever, because we get enough stuff anyway.
So we're giving it away.
Okay.
No, so the fan gets one, and we get one, which we can choose to do with what we
We're
like.
being charitable.
Perhaps, perhaps we'll find out.
So are we just going to do it based on like who gets the most right answers?
Yes,
I think so.
Okay, right.
And so, Chad, can we do it you know, just humour me? Can we do that to our chest and the reveal?
Yes.
If there is a draw, though, if there's a draw, scissor, paper, rock, best of one.
Well, if we called it rock, paper, scissors, then I mean...
We can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the topic, we just saw NaVi play. First question, only one CIS player, so Commonwealth of Independent States, Eastern Europe, only one CIS player has played in an ESL One Cologne final. Right, you ready? I'm going to give you the 4 answers, so you don't have to pick yet.
Yep.
So A, Edward. B, Adren. C, Simple. D, Dosia.
All right, how are we doing this reveal, Alex?
Right, so I guess Thorin tells us when to reveal.
Okay, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Simple.
Simple.
C, simple. It is C, simple. You are both
starting
1 point
easily.
each.
All right.
1 point each. That was an easy one to start off with. There's only one player that did it anyway. Okay, so you ready for the next one?
I think Alex was cheating and looking at my letters.
Might have done. Okay. So again, we just had Fnatic play, so we're going to make it themed again.
Okay.
So Fnatic played in 2 ESL One Cologne finals. Now, which was the map that they played in both of those finals? There's only one map that they played in both. So again, multiple choice, so you can always guess. So is it A, Inferno? Is it B, Dust 2? Is it C, Cobblestone? Or is it D, Train, the map we just saw at the last?
Can I have the options again?
Okay, the options were Inferno, Dust 2, Cobblestone, Train. Which was the one map they played in both of their finals? So if you at least even know one of the finals, you can take a guess at it at least. Because, crucially, they played a number of maps. They only played once, twice.
My memory's terrible.
Okay.
Are we ready, guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
A.
So A. So A was Inferno, Chad.
Yeah.
Feels like a classic.
Can you do sound effects, Duncan? Like a
B was Dust 2.
Yeah.
I didn't actually write this one down.
You're kidding me.
I do know this one. It was actually Cobblestone, so it was C. You were both wrong for that one, I'm afraid. That was a joke.
All right, cool. All right, well, that was anticlimactic, wasn't it?
Yes, tricked you on that one.
Oh.
This is just going to show how silly we are.
Now we're going to go to...
I got my letters up.
Okay, this is a tricky one, actually. So get ready for this one.
Okay.
This is going to make you go way back, because those ones are all about finals. So if you saw the final, you probably know how to... Okay, so this question is going to be, in NIP's legendary ESL One Cologne 2014 major title-winning run...
I was in the crowd.
One of the most famous kind of themes to it was winning on Cobblestone. That was the first tournament we ever had Cobblestone. It was before the rework. It was a very weird map. You might remember there was that broken wall area over at the B site. Right? Even though they won on it, they won in every playoff series on that map, they did actually lose the map at the tournament. In the group stage, they played a team, and they lost to this team on Cobblestone. So which team was it? Are you ready?
Go on, then.
It's going to be...
I was playing at that event.
A.
I was in the crowd cheering you on.
I definitely didn't beat
We're going to do A.
Okay.
Hellraisers. Don't look at the answers, Chad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
A. Hellraisers.
Yep.
Yeah.
B. Cloud9. D. Dignitas. C. Dignitas. And D. Epsilon.
I've got mine.
Which one
Are
was
you just
it?
locking it in straight away?
Which one was
I've
it?
got
Which
it
one was
locked in.
Get ready. Are you ready, gentlemen? Are we locking in?
Okay, he's locked in, so can I just quickly ask, which one was
sure.
Hellraisers?
They were the first one.
They were A.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready.
Ready?
YOLO.
I believe I know which one Alex picked here. 1, 2, 3. So, okay. You were all wrong. It was Epsilon.
Oh, God damn
it. It was D Epsilon. With Shoxy.
That was with
yes.
Kukli as well.
No, he was in LDLC.
We don't talk about it.
What's the same tournament, though? And
He
also,
did do
yes,
the jumpy thing in
that was
Cologne.
LDLC, yes,
Yeah.
against Pasha, Virtus Pro.
Yeah,
Might have been cheating. Who knows?
I lost to him.
Who knows?
Did you?
Yeah.
You lost to a lot of people, Chad. Right, anyway, moving on.
All right.
That wasn't a question later. Who did Chad lose to at ESL One Cologne? A, everyone. Right, okay. No, let's keep going. Right, so is this
like
the last
this.
one? Is this the last one?
There should be two more.
Are there two more? Let me see.
What's the scores right
We
now?
got one each.
One
Yeah,
each.
the first
Yes,
one.
sorry, there are
There's
two more. Okay.
There's two more.
So you ready?
on.
Which team
We suck at
did
this.
SK Gaming, the Brazilian lineup, which team did SK Gaming lose a map to in last year's playoffs? So obviously you're going to get the names of the teams. Let's see who you can pick. They only lost a map to one of these teams in the playoffs. So the options are A, FaZe Clan, B, Cloud9, C, Optic Gaming, or is it D, Space Soldiers?
Someone yelled Optic.
Well, that's because they're wearing an Optic jersey and they have a big flag.
I don't know if you know how Call of Duty orgs work, but people just sort of shouted out like a zombie. I got FaZe up.
Okay,
So
so
anyway.
it was...
Was it A, FaZe Clan,
Okay.
B,
one is
Cloud9,
it?
Yep.
C, Optic Gaming, or
Yep.
D, Space Soldiers?
Who the hell was it?
Last year.
In the playoffs.
In the playoffs. Okay,
You ready?
I'm just going to shuffle them like a magic trick. Hang on.
Do you need them again, Chad?
No, I'm just going to take a stab in the dark as
Take
well.
a stab,
I know
okay.
that they lost to one of those teams that you mentioned in the group stage.
I hope someone in my ear is keeping track of who's actually got the most right
I've only
answers.
got one.
Okay,
One,
just
one,
checking.
one. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to do a reveal.
Yeah. Go on
One,
then.
2, 3.
This is a full guess.
Oh, so Optic Gaming you went for, right?
Yeah.
That is correct. It was
Okay,
Optic
well-
Believe it or not, Optic Gaming, with at the time, they had like, you know, that mad lineup where they had no standard slot. They did actually, they were the only team in the playoffs to win a map against SK.
God damn. You
Isn't
know what?
that amazing?
But they lost to Space Soldiers on
In
Cation
the group
stage.
That was a trick. I was cheating on that one. That was a little bit of a cheeky one.
All right.
So the last one is going to be about my beloved French players. Okay, so which of these French teams has never made it to the playoffs of an ESL One Cologne?
We need some thinking music.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
do you want to go deep on this one?
Including this one?
No. Well, yeah, all of them.
Okay.
All of them. So
Okay.
which one of these has never made it?
Never
to
made
it?
the playoffs.
So that makes it a bit easier, Chad,
Okay.
but okay.
All right.
Is it going to be A, G2 Esports?
Okay.
Is it going to be B, LDLC? Is it going to be C, Titan? Or is it going to be D, Epsilon? You ready? Got those there?
Okay.
Thinking the French. We all love a bit of the old French.
You ready?
Oh no. What have you
Ready?
gone for?
Here we go.
1, 2, 3.
Titan, because they
Oh,
suck.
they've both got it right. It's Titan.
All right, scissors, paper, rock, or paper,
So
scissors,
you,
rock,
so
or whatever.
3 out of 5, not bad, gentlemen.
All right.
You did have the whole. You ready?
Yeah.
This is, are we doing it on shoot?
It's rock, paper, scissors,
Shoot.
bang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want me to say rock, paper, scissors, even though we say
We'll
scissors,
say-
paper, rock?
Well, we'll say it properly.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, here we go.
Ready?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, I went too early.
You
I'm
did.
bad at
I still beat you,
coordination.
though.
Oh, no, but it's
2 out of
not-
3.
hold on.
2 out of 3.
Okay, here we go.
Come on.
I'll do it with my eyes closed. I'll
Okay.
still beat you.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, 1-1.
All right, here we go.
One more.
This
This
is
is it. This is to decide the MSI ones.
You ready?
Guys, can we have some encouragement?
Yeah,
this
come
is
on.
exciting
Come on.
entertainment.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted.
That's it. I feel like I'm playing.
Here we go.
Okay.
Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Wait.
Oh. Boom!
That is the
crowd
worst.
goes wild!
That is the worst 1v1 I've ever seen anyone lose.
Alex, you get this box.
The old box. Yes,
Send it
there
down, Duncan.
All right, you can,
Send the box
send it down, and we're going to send it to a break. We'll be right
You gotta
back.
open it.
ESL One continues after this.
The goodies. There's all the goodies in there.
Peace. Okay. Oh, our mics are still live.